So, who do we have here?
Hi guys, I'm Praket and I just got 18th place at the WCQ Karlsruhe regional yesterday. Out of, I believe there were 325 or 330 players. So yeah, I just like to show my deck and give a little bit of a theory. I played branded Dracotail, which I think is fairly common in itself, but the deck list and some of the tech choices that I went for I think are fairly uncommon, but I think they were very pivotal and very useful. I went off mostly the theory of Jesse Cotton and Jordan Gallagher in the way of building my deck list, and it's very similar to Jordan Gallagher's. So before we get right into it, some shout outs. Shout out everybody who tested with me, Steven, Marcel, everybody in the Stuttgart testing circle, all the boys from Stuttgart, the hotel group, all my friends in Ireland who support me, Sean, Finn, Liam. You guys know who you are, and of course my family for supporting me, and everybody who supported me along the way. My matchups were very different along the entire 9 rounds. There were, I think, Exo Sister, Crystron K9, 2 Mitsurugi Azamina, 1 White Forest Azamina, 1 VS, 1 Malice, 1 branded Dracotail, and yeah, I think something like that. And I went 7 and 2. So yeah, let's get right into it. I played 2 Albaz, 1 OG Albaz, 1 Ecclesia. I think that this is the correct ratio. I think that OG Albaz is very important, and I'm going to explain it when I talk about Fallen the Virtuous and my extra deck. But I make some of these cards that make this very much better, and I think that this is a key layered interruption that this deck needs against monster-based like pushing combo decks that are seeing a rise in this format. This format isn't just Dracotail and Radiant Typhoon anymore, where back row wins the matchup. And I think against all of those key like Azamina engines that we're seeing in a rise in popularity, OG Albaz was incredible. So yeah, played 2 Cartesia. I've played around with this ratio from everything from 1 to 3, but I think 2 is just the best to give consistency for the replace Malulus, and it's also very good when you fuse with Lucius and the Dragon to make Secretarion, because it gives you basically it feels like you got 2 normal summons for the value of the 1. But it's not a Dracotail name, and it also just generally does clog your hands sometimes with branded cards. Like there were 2 times where I drew only branded cards, which is obviously not ideal, but it works because I play a bigger extra deck package in of branded cards. So with only this 6 cards, I was able to like fully utilize it, and it did not matter. And also just seeing it with spellcasters is also not good, because this and like a Lucius in hand, for example, does not play if you normal summon Cartesia. You have to go for normal summon Lucius, which plays into other hand traps much more, especially going second. But I like the 2, like you need the extra ways to fuse. 3 Lucius, 3 5 mana, 3 Urgla, 3 Pan, 1 Malulu, 1 Frixel. I think this is like pretty standard. We've seen the only thing that you can like really think about is like the change and shift of the ratios of Urgla and Pan. We've seen everything from 2-2, 3-1, 1-3, stuff like that. I think that like 3 Urgla was really clutch. Just it makes your turn 0 5 mana better, which honestly this deck is not a turn 0 5 mana deck because you don't play that many hand traps and that many charmies to facilitate it. But weirdly enough, I did end up turn 0ing 5 mana like 4 times in the tournament, and it was good every time. Like I think I drew Urgla for 2 of those times. And that's the reason I decided to go for it, because it like just clears out so much back row. You can also go with this and like a Starsource and then pop 2 as well, even if your other one is Arthalion, for example. You pop 1 with Starsource, pop 1 with Urgla. Incredible amounts of pressure and very good going second. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, with the development of like Azamina engine and like 1 DBL Star being a very good body that trades into the Dracotail engine better, I might consider playing more Pan in the future, but for now I think the ratio is fine going first. 1 Ketu, 3 Rahu. Very yeah, wish Ketu was a 3, but you know, we play as many as we can. 2 Branded Fusion, obvious. 2 FNV. I used to hate this card because every time I drew it going second, it felt like it was not enough into the development of combo engines. Like against Mandate or Flame to out them basically was the best usage of this card in my opinion going second, and with the decrease in Radiant Typhoon in the format, especially where I play, it felt like very useless going second. Like every time I was drawing this, I felt like I was drawing a Dracotail trap and losing. But that's why I decided to play Titaniclad in my extra deck, spoilers, to make this card much better. All 3 Dracotail traps. I ended up cutting Horn for a lot of my testing, but I felt like if there were less combo decks in the format, you could get away with it. But where I play, there is like too many combo decks, like Malice and VS and Azamina decks. So the Horn was essential for me, and it was also very good. Like I won, I think, 2 games off of Horn being there. So yeah. Then for the non-engine, I decided to play the God 6, obviously, the 3 Fuva, the 3 Ash. Don't need to be explained in this format. And for the rest, I decided to go for 2 Droll and 2 Droplet. This was Perulia for a lot of the time, but I ended up changing it to Droplet in the last week because it was just trading so good with Azamina as well as VS. So yeah, Droll was a God card for me. I won like four matches off of the back of this. I think like this carried me in a lot of these combo matchups, and I would not change it for Perulia. So yeah, Droplet doesn't need to be explained. Dracotail uses Droplet. Like it's like the best Droplet deck aside from maybe Striker or something. Like it's incredible Droplet. Me and my friends have a joke where we say that like every time you draw a Droplet, you win the game. That's how good it was. Extra deck, this is where like most of the interesting, I think, choices I made were. Like a lot of like my choices are getting more standard. It's like the Jordan Gallagher theory, but they're still not played by everyone, and I think they are staple choices that you should be playing. 2 Arthalion, 1 Gulima. I didn't play Shaurus, even though I love it, because I wasn't expecting a lot of grindy matchups. It never came up for me, so it was fine. Then 1 Secretarian, 1 Mysterium. These, instead of the Shaurus, were more useful for me because of the flexibility. Like this is obviously very good to Malice. I was expecting Malice, but it was also good against Vanquish Soul. Yeah, I did banish a Holy Sue twice with this, which was very good. It also randomly hits Yummy, and that was more important to me because if I played well, I didn't need the Shaurus, so that's why. Mysterium. 1 Chaos Starsource, outs Di-Fi, outs Red Sea, does everything you needed to. Like that alone should warrant it a spot. Then for the branded package, I decided to play 2 Albion, 1 Mirror Jade. The reason for 2 of this instead of 1 is because you need 1 with branded fusion, you need 1 with FNV, or sometimes like 2 for FNVs and stuff. And generally, it's just a very flexible card. Whereas if you have this as like Sanctifier, it's only really good against like Fuva on branded fusion, not even on like Ash on branded fusion. And you will see later that like other cards that I play, like the Mirror Jade, I make this Mirror Jade very often right now because of my other extra deck cards. And it's very good into matchups like VS and Mitsurugi. And that can dump this to get me access. And like if I'm playing pure branded, it's pivotal that I get into Mirror Jade. Then the other cards that I played were Dogma, Rinbrom, and Titaniclad. Dogma is because I have Albaz a bunch, and Titaniclad facilitates that with Rinbrom. So going second, to make my FNV better, I decided to play Titaniclad. This makes it so that there's a combo, actually, yes, you can combo with FNV, it's crazy. There's a combo with FNV which outs 6 bodies, 3 in your turn, 3 in your opponent's turn. You make Mirror Jade in your turn, out 1, and then you make Dogma in your opponent's turn. The Albaz Fuse is just so much threat, and when it comes in end phase, a lot of the main phase only interruptions cannot deal with it efficiently. And so a lot of the times, like when I felt like I could out some of the board, but not all of it, I would dump Titaniclad. I think I did it like 6 or 7 times going second with FNV. And I won, I think, like most of those games where I resolved that. So yeah. To end off the extra deck, I played Alba, Lobelion, and Ecclesia. These 2 don't need to explain. This is the Red Sea Di-Fi out. I also fused the Dormouse with it once. You could cut it for SP, but I don't think it's good enough. I think this is better. This was really good. Not only to just against Dracotail and Caesar Valius and Vanquish Soul, but also like I made it a lot of the times to respect the Super Poly setups, because like Azamina plays very egregious non-engine against Dracotail, because Dracotail is like one of the only decks it can't outvalue or out Omni negate. Just to punish the hand traps. because of the strong engine. So Alba Lenatus plus Ecclesia Synchro was the board I went a lot of the time, so they can't make Saint Azamina against me. It actually came up once, so I would not change any of this extra deck. I summoned every single card here. Yeah. Quickly going to the extra deck. We've got one Called By, two Fenrir. Fenrir, I basically tested every going first card in Dracotail, Dragon's Mind, Rage Taken Rest, these. And I felt like this was the best because as long as I could play, like, if I was playing good, I could win. So I decided to play Fenrir instead of the other ones. Like if you played, I drew once Fenrir double, Rahu double FNV, and that would not play if I had Mistaken Arrest or Dragon's Mind, but that did play because I had Fenrir and I ended up winning the game going first. Also the fact that it outs Red Sea, Monster in Hand, Monster in Field is, I think, pretty good. Then 3 Perulia, 3 Nib. Good against VS, good against Azamina. Same here. I think at a point where like if you play like 15 to 18 hand traps, the next hand trap cannot be good enough 1-for-1. So you got to play like some high impact thing that trades really well, and that was Nib. Nib was a god card. Every time I drew it, I think I won the game. And going first is also very good for standing patterns because they can maybe, if they come through your board, they can never come through Nib. And it also pairs very well with stuff like Magnamut and Femina, which I did a bunch. And the last 5 cards are Duster, Lightning Storm, and Imperm. Imperm very self-explanatory for VS because it doesn't trigger the Izuna. And I think that was way more important than playing Valor, so that's why I decided to play this, and I won't change it. And this is like the god card paired with Droplet or FNV. I won 2 games off of this. I think that like with a decrease in mandate in the format, these cards are incredibly good. And even against Radiant Typhoon, if you somehow resolve it with a Droplet, like god card, you're probably winning that game. The tempo, you ruined them. But yeah, that was some of my theory and reasoning for like playing a bigger branded extra deck package and like bigger branded emphasis, I think, which a lot of people are not doing. I hope I was able to provide you guys some insight, and yeah, thanks for watching, guys.